Guys, welcome to Starting 11 live on a Tuesday night. Good old Snark here. Going solo this time. Adelia is on very important business for the Let's Get Ready network. Otherwise, she'd love to be here, but fortunately can't be here. So you're stuck with me. And I'm going to guide you through Matchweek 2 in the Premier League. Oh, did I have a good weekend this weekend? Yeah. Well, we'll talk about Chelsea's match later on. We'll get through the other ones. You know, there were 9 other lesser matches this week. Starting, of course, Brighton, South Coast. Brighton gets to take on Manchester United. Danny Welbeck scoring for Brighton. Second of the season already for Danny Welbeck. And he has 100 Premier League, or I guess club career goals or whatever for Brighton. Good for him. That was in the 32nd minute. Amount Dallo levels it 60 minutes into the thing. It goes off of Jan-Paul van Heck. I don't know how it's considered not an own goal, seeing how far he slid, and it looked like the ball was going wide when it did, but I guess they give it to Diallo anyways. Now, what is this? About 10 minutes later, Garnacho gets the ball. He's on the far left post. He has the entire net to himself. The only person in the way is Josh Zirkzee, his own teammate. He kicks the ball, goes in. United take a 2-1 lead. But did they? Because, unfortunately, Garnacho, in his wisdom, decided to put the ball directly to the middle of the net, where Zirkzee was still kind of sliding. It goes on off of his knee before the ball crosses the line, and then just before, it's pretty close. So, anyways, VAR looks. They rule no goal. Like he had the entire net to shoot at, guys. I don't know. I don't know what you're doing here, Garnacho. It kind of feels fitting. Doesn't it feel right that Garnacho would blow a chance like that? Anyways, go to stoppage time. The hosts find a way through, getting João Pedro's header into the net, and it's a terrific pass by Simon Adingra. And we have Fabian Hertzler, at 31 years old, winning his home debut. Team's looking good, Brighton. There you go. So, all last off season, they have the new ownership takeover, or I guess not new ownership, new co-partnership, or whatever, this Ineos or whatever they want to call themselves. There's a big stink about maybe getting rid of Ten Hag. The fans absolutely fight back against this. They say Ten Hag is the way. Ten Hag is the light for United. 2 matches in, they're already calling for his head. In typical Manchester United fashion. Anyways, this season's going to be fun just to watch those guys. Always drama for United. There's always drama for my team, too. I just like to, when I can fall into somebody else for a week, that'd be also be nice. Now, moving on. Back up to London. Crystal Palace taking on West Ham in the derby. Does anybody care about this derby? Anybody in the world? So, 2 second-half goals from West Ham. Secure this one. Tom Suchek and Jared Bowen. Jared Bowen with a really nice goal, actually. They score 5 minutes apart. Julian Lopetegui gets his first win in charge of the Hammers. And a bit of news for West Ham, and their former captain has gone on to join Al Aroba of the Saudi League. It seems, he was supposed to be part of a team in the Emirates before, but that got called off. But supposedly this one's going through. This is where he's going to go. And good riddance. Not a great man. And this is, he's a former Chelsea guy. Not a great guy. Anyways, Palace big news. Looks like they've signed Eddie Nketiah. They've won I don't know if it's a sweepstakes for Eddie Nketiah because they sure tried to put him in a bunch of places, but it looks like he's settled at Crystal Palace. It looks like he's going to go from Arsenal for £25 million plus $5 million or £5 million in add-ons. He is a good young striker, and he should help Palace, who couldn't get the ball over the line. Maybe a little hangover from the week before, where probably should have had a better result than they did last week against Brentford. But there you go. Moving on to Fulham and Craven Cottage. How is this team even still around? They're not. Are they even really a Fulham football club? Ask me, they're not. But Emile Smith-Rowe, speaking of former Arsenal guys, he gets his first in a Fulham shirt. Wout Faes scoring for the Foxes to level it. It's Alex Iwobi getting the winner, and they send those poor cottagers home happy. Fulham looked good offensively. Even though I know they were playing Leicester, but yeah, I thought they looked good going forward. They seem much different than they did last year. Look like more of an attacking threat. We'll see what happens. It's only 2 weeks in. Man City and poor old Ipswich Town. Ilkay Gundogan back in Manchester, and on the bench he comes over in a free transfer from Barca back to City, back to where he's had probably his most glory, I would imagine. You'd think. He gets to come on in the 71st minute, but to start, it's the Tractor Boys getting a shock opener from Sam Smodics just 7 minutes in. And it looks like, guys, the unbelievable is about to happen. Ipswich Town has an early lead on City. They will end up defeating City, but no. It's 3 minutes later. City remembers that they're a great big bully, and they decide to pick on the kid at recess. Poor Ipswich Town. It starts with Savinho. Savinho goes down on the box. What's his name? Leaf Davis. He's challenging him. It's in the corner of the box. Savinho goes down really heavy. If Leaf Davis just brushes up against him, maybe. But to call that a penalty, after some of the stuff that wasn't called week one, and this is something we talked about, like how this stuff is not going to be refereed throughout the entire year. The standards have dropped after week one, that Savinho call, and you're going to put Erling Haaland on the spot. He's not going to miss that. So a couple minutes later, and Arjan Miric has the ball. And then when I say 2 minutes later, Miric has the ball in his box. Savinho comes over and goes through him. Never plays the ball, but yet there's no call. It's considered not a foul on Savinho, and Kevin De Bruyne will take the ball and score. Shockingly, the referee in this match, Michael Salisbury. Michael Salisbury, guys. If you'd like to find out more about how Michael Salisbury, might favor a certain team sometimes, there's plenty on that on the internet. Okay, but to be fair, City had no business losing this match, and they don't. Haaland gets a couple more. He gets a hat trick. City get a 4-1 win. The announcer, I listen to this on Fubo. I don't know if the announcers are any different anywhere else, but I get Fubo up here in Canada. The announcers just going off, talking about how unbelievable and how fantastic and how amazing City are looking, playing Ipswich Town. Guys, give it a rest. Oh my God. I get it. Maybe a couple extra bucks in the pocket if you really pump City's tires, I guess. Do they even need it? Ridiculous. Anyways, City give up a goal to Ipswich Town, which is strange, but a deserving win. 4-1 for them. Let's see what else. Spurs. Speaking of a deserving win, they beat the hell out of Everton, who never looked competitive in this match at all. I guess maybe a little bit of frustration after dropping a couple of points to Leicester in the opening week. Who scores for them? Yves Bissouma gets the first one. Son gets two, including one where he just takes the ball off of Jordan Pickford, who was not paying attention at all. Not a good look for the England number one. Anyways, Christian Romero also scoring there. Everton just managing the one shot on goal. They have less than 30% possession. Does maybe Ipswich Town does get through and Everton goes down. Who knows? But Everton has not looked good. One thing I'm going to say, I've heard, I'm going to get into some transfer news and more likely transfer rumors at the end of the show. But some people talking to Chelsea going after Dom Calvert-Lewin. Why? What does he do besides missing that and get hurt? Is it Dom Calvert-Lewin some kind of game changer, like a surprise game changer? Is there something within Dom Calvert-Lewin that people are just missing? Don't think so. Don't think so. You can say it, Everton. It's fine. They're gonna have they're gonna have the nicest stadium in the Championship next year. You know what I mean? Okay. Southampton gets Forest. The only goal scored by Morgan Gibbs-White. 70 minutes in. Saints were fine. Forest wasn't. Forest had a bunch of chances and stuff like that. Even though Forest only had the ball for 35% of the game, but better chances, more chances. Southampton just needs to. Why aren't they going after? Why aren't they you see Ipswich Town? I'm going to talk about it later. I can talk about it now. Ipswich Town going after Armando Broja from Chelsea, and they're worried about his Achilles tendon and stuff like that. Why isn't Southampton making a run for this guy? They need something up there. They've just got no quality in the offensive zone. I don't know what they're going to try and do. Anyways, let's move on. So I'm by myself here, guys. Here, my only friends. Okay. This match should have been the marquee matchup of the weekend. Villa, Arsenal. A couple of top four teams from last season. Villa ends up taking the double from Arsenal last year. And they start with a great chance from Ollie Watkins 24 minutes in. After Leon Bailey just picks up William Saliba and tackles him in front of the box, setting up a 2-on-1, which is how do you not call that? It obviously leads to a scoring chance. This is just an awful call. There's again, it's Premier League officiating. I know I should always expect the minimum from these guys, but come on, with something like that, he absolutely just picks him up. Like a fireman's carry, I think they used to call it in wrestling. Anyways, Ollie Watkins gets a chance, 2-on-1. He gets the ball to his foot. This should be a goal, but nope, puts it wide. And we're going to talk about another chance later. When Ollie Watkins, and it's only 2 games, but he hasn't looked great. He didn't even look really all that great in the Euros, did he? Maybe something's up with Ollie Watkins that we don't know about. Anyways, we go to the second half, and we're going to talk about that, I guess, that second chance that Watkins has, because David Ryan makes, for sure, the save of the week. Will this stand up when it comes down to saves of the year? I think it's going to be in contention, I would imagine. Because Leon Bailey? No, it's Onana. Amadou Onana puts a ball off of Saliba. Saliba deflects it. It goes up off the crossbar, falling to Ollie Watkins' head, who has all day, right in the middle of the net. Watkins can pick either side. He tries to go to Raya's left with the header. Raya kind of down near his knees and stuff, like crouched, gets his hand to it to keep it out. Unbelievable save. And seemed to spur on his gunners from there. Trossard comes on for Martinelli in the 65th. He gets the goal 2 minutes later. Bukayo Saka keeps the ball in on the goal line and just keeps it in, but keeps it in. Like even with the weird round thing or whatever, he kept the ball in. It just played sloppily when it comes back into the box by Villa. And Trossard gets a chance, and he puts a nice little shot down just inside the corner. And then, was it 10 minutes later? Yeah, 10 minutes later, Thomas Partey gets a pass in from inside the box to outside where he is. He puts a nice hard shot home. Arsenal win. Arsenal in the second half, this game stopped being competitive. Arsenal really took care of things, and I don't think people are talking about how good Arsenal has looked so far. Than playing a good team, like maybe not the best team in Wolves, but a good team in Villa, and they brought them to heel. Like they really didn't sweat too hard over Aston Villa, who were very good last year. So, interesting first couple of weeks for Arsenal. Maybe people will start to give them some respect to their name a little bit. Guys, I don't like that. Like, let's be fair. I'm not happy that they're doing well, but you got to call it out for what it is, because I'm a proper what do you call those guys? Proper journalist. Is that right? It's not. It's not right at all. Okay. Bournemouth, Newcastle. It's a really good match, you guys. A really great match. It's just spoiled by a couple of calls. And I thought that, like, when I was looking it up, I thought it was Tim Robson who was the VAR, but I've seen online that it was Simon Hooper. So I'm going to stick with Simon Hooper as the VAR in this. But let's go into the match. Marcus Tavernier getting the home side head in the 37th minute. Really great pass from Antoine Semenyo, who was very good in the first half, I thought, especially. Anthony Gordon equalizes, getting his boot to another equally impressive cross from Harvey Barnes. They had to look at this for some reason for being offside. I didn't think Gordon was even close to being offside. It's good. It's okay. We go to a corner in stoppage time. It's Lewis Cook putting it directly out in front. Looks like Dago Ouattara gets to it. Looks like he heads it in. And Bournemouth's going crazy. Looks like they've gotten a late, what was this, 5 minutes, I think, into extra time, a late winner, over Newcastle. But there's a VAR check. VAR are supposed to, the only time you're supposed to overturn calls from VAR is when there's a clear and obvious error. Ouattara goes up. It's called a handball. All right. A handball is supposed to be anything from your, like your, basically your skin. Your sleeve and your shoulder should be fine. Hello, Brendan. How are you, sir? So he goes up, and it looks like if it comes off of Ouattara, look at his head is there too. It may have come off his shoulder here, like here. It looks like all sleeve to me. Somehow the VAR has decided that it's a handball, that there's enough evidence to say that it was, instead of here, it was here, and called it off. Brutal. Another case of the English Premier League at its absolute worst. Just get the call. God damn it, get the call right. This is impossible. How do you get this wrong? He's not the only person in there. You know what I mean? There's like two other people in there with him. Like, just look at it. And then you have the referee. Like, what are you looking at? How is this? How do you think that's here? It's strange. And I could care less about Bournemouth, but just get the damn calls right. You're the biggest football federation in the world, and you guys are goddamn amateurs at this. Awful. Awful. And then Joe Linton decides to do, I don't know if anybody remembers 1980s wrestling, but there was a man named Ivan Koloff, and he had something called the Russian sickle. And Joe Linton uses it to perfection here. On poor Neto in that, he absolutely clotheslines him. He's eventually given a yellow card. How do they keep getting things wrong? How is clotheslining a man, not just grabbing him by the shirt and bringing him down, clotheslining him, and he's the keeper holding the ball? How is that only a yellow card? How is this only a yellow card? What is the standard for red card then? You're gonna have to take a man's leg off. You'll have to take off a man's leg to get a red card. And no. It depends. It depends on, I guess, which way maybe bookies have put the money on or something like that. I'm not trying to start anything, but there's got to be a reason. There's got to be a reason for such garbage. It's a red card fence. Why didn't VAR jump in for this? It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre how they keep getting this wrong, and then they act so proud of themselves. They're going to be on that show or whatever on Sky Sports or whatever, talking about how they made a mistake, and they'll learn from this at some point. Frustrating. I feel for the poor Bournemouth, poor AFC Bournemouth. But get over it. You have to go on to next week. Also, come on, Newcastle's third kit, that weird all white with that green and blue. Okay, whatever. Now, speaking of nice kits, though, Liverpool, the first match for Arne Slot's team, Arne Slot at home at Anfield, it gives them a nice, comfortable win. Nothing to worry about here. Luis Diaz scoring in the 13th minute of pretty incredible end-to-end rush set up by a really good pass from Diego Jota. It's Mo Salah, of course, for the second. Alisson Becker really only had to make one half-decent save in the match in the second half. Liverpool dominated Brentford, who should be a good team. We'll see. Maybe the reports of Liverpool's demise, were maybe a little premature. But we'll see. They don't have that swagger though, do they? They just, not yet at least. They just don't have that Klopp style swagger. Okay. We get on to the good stuff now. Mostly good stuff. Wolves at the Molineux in a hole at home to Chelsea. Guys, I don't mean to alarm you, but Nicholas Jackson scored a goal with his head, and only like 2 minutes in, and from a corner, from a set piece. Pretty amazing stuff. Of course, later on in the match, he'll have a break in on that, get the slightest touch on his back, and tumble forward instead of getting off a shot or passing the ball. Still the same kind of Nicholas Jackson style stuff, but he does score a goal here, so I'm not going to criticize him too much in this one. And of course, Mateus Cunha has to score later on the 27th minute. Maybe Sanchez should have gotten to that one. It was right near him. He was kind of in a weird position going down. Then Cole Palmer. Nice Cole Palmer. Scores maybe, definitely I'll say the goal of the season so far. Only 2 match weeks in, but this is an absolute beauty. Sanchez with the goal kick goes up to Nicholas Jackson, who puts a pass up over his head, kicks it up over his head, finds Palmer, and alone it's right on his boot. For some reason, Jose saw his, about 15, 16 yards out of his net. Palmer puts it over him from about 25 yards. It's a goal. The 45th minute. Chelsea have retaken the lead. But of course, they can't hold it because this back line is not good. Definitely not good enough. Definitely needs help. It's Jurgen Strand Larson equalizing like 6 minutes into extra time. I was a little angry. I've seen this too much last year. But Chelsea will score a goal, immediately give one up. I was just, why can't I ever be comfortable with Chelsea with a lead these days? It used to be all you needed was one. We had some pretty damn good goalkeepers. And, they keep trying to get goalkeepers, so we'll see. I think they've signed their 9th goalkeeper this year. Anyways, we'll talk about that in a minute. Second half comes on. They make it switch. Mudryk's off, and Pedro Neto comes on. Seems to be the elixir. Unfortunately for Misha, I don't know how much of the pitch he sees, at least during league matches. I think Misha, it's going to be far too late for him to get a transfer somewhere now before Friday. Maybe I think Mudryk may be possibly moved out in the winter. We'll see. Because Neto comes in, they just change. Moving forward, they look just fluid. They get 3 goals in 14 minutes from Noni Madueke, who earlier, I don't know if it was late in the night before, said that, I think it was on his Instagram, that everything about this town is shit when it comes to Wolverhampton. He deleted it, guys, so it means it's fine. But he was booed the entire match. But he put his nose down. When he had his chances, he'd take them. He even missed, I guess he didn't take all his chances because he missed a couple good chances in the first half. He was just very good all match, but Cole Palmer with the quality assists as well, too. Like 4 goals and assists, like combined goals and assists for Cole Palmer in this match. It's pretty terrific stuff. And then the prodigal son has returned. Joao Felix joining Chelsea 6 years plus an option. From Atletico Madrid, Conor Gallagher. Heartbreaking to see the kid go, but they need academy players gone so they can get the money, so they can do weird things. I guess Rowan probably left the academy in a little bit of a shambles when it came to depth, I suppose. So I don't know, whatever. Conor Gallagher's gone. I'll miss him as much as I missed his free kicks. She missed a lot. I'm just kidding. Okay, so Felix is back, and Neto finds him alone in the center of the box, and this is a strike that 7 times out of 10 last year wouldn't go in for Chelsea. Felix scores, and I just imagine Joao Felix, if they have to put him as a false 9. They look sharp. There's just now that just opens up the offense. Of course, defensively, they're still garbage. They aren't good. Fofana hasn't been looking all that great. Colwell looked a little better. And I'll say, they improved in the second half, but Chelsea just always had the ball, so they didn't have as much work to do. So, great win for Chelsea, 6-2. A lot of people saying the most impressive team of the week. I don't think they were. This is still a Wolves team that shouldn't be very good. I still say probably the most impressive team this weekend was Arsenal. But yeah, does it feel good to see 6 goals go in for the good? It does. And Wolves took the double from us last year too. I won't forget that. Okay. So we have been doing our predictions over here on the Sleeper app. We have the LGRN LGRN starting 11 Pick'em League. Currently, I'm in 3rd place. Not great. Adelia picked up a game on me and a game on Ferris. Ferris still in the lead. Ferris two wins ahead of me with Adelia, just one behind. So to go through mine live with you guys here, we got first match of the week. Arsenal and Brighton. That's a nice early start for Ferris. A nice 4:30 in the morning start for our good pal Ferris Mathano. See if he stays up for that or gets up for that. Arsenal up, or Arsenal should win at home against Brighton. Adelia's gone for Arsenal as well. I'm going to go to Everton and Bournemouth. It's that Goodison Park, but Everton are terrible. I'm picking Bournemouth. Adelia's picked Bournemouth as well. Brentford, Southampton. I believe it's Vitality Stadium. Brentford's going to beat Southampton, I believe. Bounce back from a pretty lackluster game this past weekend. Ipswich Town gets the host Fulham. Adelia's gone for Fulham and the win. I'm going to go crazy here, guys. And mind you, I'm never any good at these predicting things, but I'm going to say that the Tractor Boys get a draw out of this. Adelia's gone with Fulham. Leicester, Villa. Villa's going to win, I say, at Kings Power Stadium. And it looks like Adelia agrees with me. Forest at home to Wolves at the City Ground. She's gone with Forest. I'm going to go with Forest as well. Traditionally on the show, you always say two things. Forest wins at home and they score on the break. So we're going to go with Forest. West Ham, City, London Stadium. West Ham, I don't think has much of a chance against City. Adelia's chose City as well. Chelsea Football Club. Good ship, Chelsea. At home at the Bridge against Crystal Palace, Derby. Chelsea will win. It will be interesting to see Nketiah. Hopefully he'll be in the lineup, but I think he's just been training with the juniors. I don't think he's been training with the first. He's probably been on the bomb squad. So it'll be interesting to see if I'm sure he'll make an appearance, even if it's late. We'll see if any new Chelsea guys make an appearance, because we're going to talk about news and rumors in just a second. Adelia's also chose Chelsea rightfully, I'll say. Next match, Newcastle, Tottenham. She's got Newcastle at home, and it pains me to say it, but I'm going to pick Spurs. Newcastle's a strange club. It's that Jekyll and Hyde. You know, you never know what you're going to get out of Newcastle. I'm going to say Spurs in that one. And the last match, a classic. Is it the marquee matchup of the week? Probably. Just because of the names. Manchester United versus Liverpool. Adelia's gone Liverpool. United just has a thing at Old Trafford against Liverpool, don't they? I'm going to say Manchester United pull off a shocker. A shocker. So that's our picks. We'll follow us back next week. We'll see how everything did. We'll see how many of those I got wrong, because honestly, there could be a couple. Who knows? Okay. Some news and rumors. And most of these I get from Fabrizio Romano. Some were just the things that I've noticed online, including the last one I might talk about, which is kind of surprising. It was surprising to me. But anyways, Chelsea has signed Mark Penders from Genk. Another goalkeeper for 20 million. They have, it seems, loaned out Kepa. Kepa goes to, was it Bournemouth? Is that where he's going? Yeah, Kepa's going to Bournemouth on loan. Chelsea, Champions League. Madrid, Champions League. Bournemouth, probably not Champions League. I can tell you that. Okay. Arsenal have reached a verbal agreement with Young Garcia, his goalkeeper from Espanyol, which probably means Aaron. Well, I think it will definitely mean that our Aaron Ramsdale is going to at least try to get moved out. Looking like now Southampton for Aaron Ramsdale. Aaron Ramsdale, he could be a good goalkeeper. A couple of brain farts, but everybody has them. He makes Southampton better. And that's all you can say about Aaron Ramsdale. I guess that's the nicest thing you can say. I've waited to say this. Next bit of news for a very long time. And it pleases my cold, dark heart to say it. But Romelu Lukaku's finally done at Chelsea Football Club. Those dumb bastards over in Napoli have given us 30 million euros with some add-ons for him, and it's such a relief to see him gone. It's such a relief to get. We gave so much money, and within weeks he's talking about how he doesn't want to be at the club. What? Probably the worst signing Chelsea ever made. Bringing him back. Awful. And there's been some bad signings. I'd rather lose money on a guy like Enzo than gain any money by getting Lukaku back. Anyways, let's go on to some more. This is something in the Premier League, but I just wanted to mention channel favorite, Wout Weghorst. Gets his wish, gets out of Burnley. He goes to Ajax. So there you are. Good for you, Wout. We talked about Broya moving. A couple of things that mirror each other here. So Scott McTominay finally looks like he's going to Napoli from Manchester United, which means that Ugarte is finally going to come up, and this has been the talk probably the entire summer, to Man U from PSG. 35 million euros plus 10 million in add-ons. Ugarte, of course, a midfielder, used to be a tremendous tackler. So, well, they could probably use some of that in their midfield, considering who they have. Mason Mount, BTW, was subbed off at halftime of their match against Brighton this past week. So, yeah, any bit of midfield help United could use. Is he the guy to help them? Like I said, he was a good tackler. To say that he is currently a good tackler, I don't know. We'll see. Some more United news. And it has a bit to do with Chelsea, because there's been rumors, which at first I laughed off, but seem to be, they just aren't disappearing, where Raheem Sterling could get moved to Manchester in a swap deal with Jadon Sancho. What Chelsea absolutely needs is another winger. And from what people are saying, that Chelsea are really quite considering going after Sancho, which I find bananas. Well, how many wings? How many wings are there? There's 2, right? How many wingers do you need? 11? Come on. We need Sancho for. Juventus still in the hunt for Sancho. Probably a better choice if it means that we can't get rid of Sterling, though. And those wages, is it coming to the point we have to get rid of Sterling? We're going to have to hold on to salary, right? For sure. We're going to have to probably still pay him $200,000 a year so he can get or $200,000 a week or whatever it is, so he can make his 100. Or, only cost someone $125,000 a week, which is crazy. This is, I guess, the first signing by Clear Lake, and that's with Tuchel, by the way. Was getting Sterling in 300, whatever it is, £325,000 a week. Bananas. Big news for Arsenal. They get Mikel Merino in from Real Sociedad. This is something that's been, again, talked about quite a bit. We'll help shore up their midfield that really doesn't need any help. It's just strength on strength now for them. back with his old pal Odegaard. They each spent time in Sociedad. To Chelsea again, still looking for a striker. How's Arsenal not looking for a striker? Well, we're going to get into that in this crazy rumor that I heard today in a little bit. Again, Osimhen, Tony. It's come in from the time I woke up this morning that Chelsea now are keeping a close eye now on Ivan Toney instead of just letting him go to the Saudi league. Of course, they're still in on Osimhen. You think Sterling's wages are outrageous. Osimhen's are incredibly high, far higher than anything that Chelsea wants. That's part of the project and stuff like that, where they just don't want to pay these outrageous fees and stuff like that. It's a reason to get rid of Sterling. Recently, we got rid of Mount. Blah blah blah. So they turn their eye to Tony, which would be fine. And Ivan Toney, he's a good Premier League striker. Osimhen still has that thing where he's a good striker. Serie A, I don't know how we do at the Premier League in the pace of Premier League, especially for the money. And I guess Napoli's decided to come down on their $100 million, whatever it is, exit fee. So we'll see. I gotta think, the Saudis are after Osimhen as well, and they've come to an agreement with the Napoli. It's just they haven't come to an agreement with Osimhen because of the wages, and he demands his wages. He will only play for what he's currently making. He won't accept a loan deal plus an obligation. It's so strange. Anyways, we're gonna see what happens with that. Friday is the end. Just can we take another at least 4 months of Nicholas Jackson leading the line for Chelsea, his offsides and his clumsy feet and him missing? He scores goals, but he has so many chances. We give him so many chances. That's what's frustrating. So we'll see what happens. Either one of the two. Just not Dom Calvert-Lewin. Oh my God, that was the worst. Okay, so a couple other things. Looks like Liverpool very quiet in the transfer window, which is surprising. I would say team that finished third. Well, should be so quiet. Now it's looking like they might be getting Chiesa, or they're looking for Chiesa from Juventus. Why would they need a striker? And why wouldn't Arsenal just go after someone like this? A rumor right now is Arsenal making a run for Darwin Nunez. If Arsenal goes get Nunez, I'm going to say this. They draft a fifth. Or he'll never play. It's Saka first. They bring in Nunez. It'll be the same kind of deal he's been in Liverpool. He'll be on for 15 minutes at the end and put a ball over the net. Probably what'll happen. I just don't see why. After what, Arsenal, I haven't matching have paid attention to the Premier League the last couple of years. What do they see in Darwin Nunez that says, that's the guy we need? That's the guy. They need a striker. Why didn't they just splash out? They needed more midfield help. Bizarre. Anyways, that's the rumor. And then they signed one guy. They signed Georgi Marmarishvili. I think that's how you say his name. I have no real idea. From Valencia, 30 million plus 5 million. These are euros. They loan him straight back to Valencia. He's going to come in next year to still just back up Alisson Becker. A very lackluster signing, I would say, for Liverpool, who've had a lackluster summer. Guys, that's it. Okay. Starting 11. Match week 2. Match week 3, same time next week. We're going to go live. It's Tuesday. Now, as far as I'm concerned, we got Let's Get Ready Network After Snark. You know what? I'm not sure if we're doing an episode this weekend. We had this past week enough. I know Danny's been busy on a project, so we'll confirm with him this week, and we'll see. If not, just like and subscribe. Like and subscribe to the channel. You'll be notified. That's the entertainment channel. You'll be notified to when LGRN After Snark goes live weekends, Saturdays, and the good old YouTube. I think it's about 5. It'd be 5 Eastern time, 2 Pacific. Just like I would say if I was on a television program. Speaking of which, Adelia and I also cover. Buffy the Vampire Slayer on the Rewatchers Council. We'll be doing those episodes Thursdays. Now we're right up to the end of season 2. 2 episodes remaining. 2-parter. Part 1 of Becoming is what we're covering this week. I can't wait for that. It's a very fun end to this season for us. Maybe not for some of the characters, but season 2 is a great season. So I'm looking forward to talking about that with Adelia. Looking forward to part 2, talking about that with Adelia, plus our friend Brendan Marr, who is a good guy, knows his Buffy stuff. So very excited about all that. Very excited about starting 11 next week. Very excited that Oasis are back, guys. Happy Oasis Day. Oh my goodness gracious. It's been 14 years. Oh my God. So happy. Okay. Until then, guys. Well, next time. Bye-bye.